Once again we are back, and we are already starting off with a new lord, which has speed and reloading time increased. By the way, if you like what you see and you're like, maybe I can watch this more than just once, feel free to subscribe. I'm gonna be doing this a little bit more for now, you know. And if you guys actually like this stuff, I'm gonna continue. And yeah. That's it. Let's see. So, we are in a new combat, not a fight. That is easy. It's always the Dark Elves. I realize we are always fighting against the Dark Elves. Like this whoop. Short campaign victory of Tyrion is only Dark Elves, and I didn't realize it until pretty much now, which is kind of okay. It probably would have been interesting to see it against other factions, but yeah, I think this campaign is already so far in. I'm not gonna extend it, yeah, unnaturally, like just by doing other battles. Maybe, nah. I think I'm gonna probably end it with the short victory. It's gonna be an easy one. And I will say, Dark Elves are probably one of the hardest enemies for this challenge because they have so many good archers, and especially also archers that have shields and all this stuff, and stalk. No, not stalk. That are, is it stalk? They are invisible until a certain distance, and it's visible that it hurts me a lot of times, but I think another enemy that we could have approached that would probably have been a little bit harder is something like dwarves, because they have a ton of armor and our arrows do not have a lot of damage. So yeah, I could have done it, but I didn't do it. By the way, we are declaring war on Nagarond. Yeah, another short victory part, and guess what? Another Dark Elf. I called in Anar, Alif Anar into this one, just because I could for settlement, and you know, he's just bordering him, and he probably wants to go to war with him as well. So that's totally fine. We are taking battles after battles against all the Dark Elves, and it's funny actually. Despite always fighting against the same faction, we always get into new maps, new situations that teach a lot for future other archer things. Like this one is how do you call it? Like a narrow path thing, you know? And we are in this time we are, what are we, the attacker? We are the attacker, aren't we? Because we otherwise would be able to spawn right at the edge of the narrow path. Yeah, and we are learning a lot from how to set up on these things. I will say I completely did it right here. I've set up on the side of one side, so they all come from the same direction, no matter which path they take of the both. And it's, I'm honest with you, when I decided to do this, I picked the high elves very reasonable, because I thought like archers only, probably barely possible. So I take the strongest civilization that's available, which are high elves, I guess. And yeah, it's not hard. High elves are like, yeah, we lose. We had certain fights where we lost nearly the whole army, but that's like the main army of a legendary lord, like Morati. Or what did we else have? Other things that I don't remember. I think it was only Morati so far. But we will get to Malekith as well, which unfortunately has a very similar army composition as Morati. So who cares, right? Yeah, but otherwise, every battle we had, like, we lost maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 units completely. No, not completely, but they were at their last man. And I will say that's not terrible. Like, it's pretty much just the front line that dies every time. And I said at the start that we can at mech have 3 heroes at max, like that was my rule. That still stands, but I never had to use it. For one, I didn't realize. I probably should have built the buildings more for it. Like I didn't even concentrate on it. By the way, new siege battle that went absolutely terrible. So have fun enjoying that in the background while I talk shit. Yeah. Where was I? I totally lost it. Yeah, heroes. I didn't build heroes. Yeah. I think on certain armies like this one it would have been useful, because sometimes the harmony and all those spells were really useful, but you don't need it, let's be honest. Not in this one. By the way, in this battle I unlocked a new fear with archers only, which is spellcasters. Like, probably with all the speed up you barely see it, but the spells of that one spellcaster in there, which is the general pretty much, is if you see it at the bottom, like I have 2-3 units that are pretty much wiped out. That was just from spells. Spells are terrible. They, for some reason, probably because they are elven and barely have any HP, because I think that's a little bit ironic, because elves are like the masters of spells. They can do everything, but they are super vulnerable to spells because of their low HP. Like one damageful spell will wipe out so many units, and I totally felt that while we are bombarding the enemy with arrows in the background. That was already the fight. It was a quick cut. Yeah, what else? I'm just steamrolling the settlements with Tyrion until my new lord got attacked from its... What was it? It was the siege of the capital, I believe. Was it the capital? I think it was the capital. And they attacked me after sieging it. And this is the same map we had already, but this time we are turned around. We are on the other side, and I use this water. Like, I think the water reduces speed by 80% officially. I'm not really sure if it actually does 80%, because they still are yeah, maybe it's 80%. And this is gold for archers. Like, having an enemy that is slower, like a lot slower, that's exactly what's my fear. Like, enemies closing in, but this map, no chance. The only thing, we had a little flank that I have to react to, so I had to shoot. By the way, you can see very perfectly how many arrows pop out of the archers and disappear in the trees. Like, at the end, when they reach the enemy, there are like no arrows left. Like, probably, what was it? Probably a quarter of the arrows are still there? I don't know, it's terrible. Like, trees are really good against archers. And yeah, this is another one of those quick wins. Always losses. We always lose units simply alone by archers, enemy archers. I'm still saying, if we would attack vampires or chaos, which we didn't engage either in this whole campaign, which is super sad actually, but you know, it's already so far. I can't change it anymore. They would probably die hard, even though they have some units that are really fast. So meh, here and there, either thing. By the way, Malekith battle, another choke point battle. I forgot the name now. Now I have it. I did a huge mistake. I thought I can dodge all the arrows, but I couldn't. My spellcaster got help me. Got nearly wiped out, but she catched herself again. So yeah, same thing here again. Like, we have 3 Medusas that are brutal. They are mashing my units into pieces, and Malekith is casting his spells. Yeah, but otherwise, it's the same again. The massive range, the massive amount of arrows. It's just against the AI movement. Like, I think a player could a player, yeah, player would probably do a better composition, like with more armor, more horses, better units in general. But let me say even a player without spells at that point, because spells are what counters this army if used wisely. Spells would destroy this army. If a player would not have spells against this army, I think even a player would struggle. Honestly. Yeah. And here I'm recruiting another army. Because I was like so sleeping on the producing army part. So I decided to just make many armies. This one I took a trait that reduces missile damage and stuff, and spellcaster damage, like the resistance for the whole army, which is pretty sweet actually, even though it's only 10%, I believe. But you know, it's something. So yeah. Here we are fighting against Moratti again. I'm saying that in a very Italian way, aren't I? Doesn't matter, it's very Italian sounding if you ask me. And it's her again, but without her super army. So this one is not that dangerous. We are spawning again here in the swamp area. And this time the enemy is on the swamp side, so I couldn't use the same position at the last battle. This is, by the way, something, there are barely any maps for this area where the Cult of Pleasure is, which is terrible. Like, you're always fighting on this stupid map. It's awful. And I could kill Moratti this time completely because she was just flying after my lord, which was lovely. And what should I say? There was a flanking maneuver that I shut down rather quickly, and the rest was again just shooting the shit out of the enemy. This army of the enemy was a little bit crazier because there are a lot more archers in it, and even horse archers, and as well like shades again, which flank me like crazy. So yeah, same again. It's getting a little bit repetitive at that point. I felt it myself. It's like, okay, Elfin Archer super range set up somewhere where they can use it, and bam, you got it. Dark Elves get shredded by it. Yeah, it's this one is a different map finally, because it's in the Nagaland area, and it's like, what I realized here too is that the AI, I don't know if it's the AI or Dark Elves in particular, but they do not react very well. Like, look at this. I'm shooting them all the time and they just die. They are not even moving. I don't know what's the deal with this. Is it a bug? Is it a Dark Elven behavior? What is it? What's causing this? Like, is the AI... I know Total War 3 AI is a lot terrible than Total War 2. Even though I didn't play Total War 2, I'm pretty new to Total War in general. If I haven't told it already, I've like probably 250 hours in this. Yeah, and this AI, I don't know, this AI is terrible. Like, there's no challenge. Like, I could have any archer, like the worst archer that's existent, who knows what it is, probably Skaven Slingers. And they would have won this just because the enemy didn't react at all. Like, it's terrible. Yeah. And here again, another fight, by the way. If you look at the enemy template, all shades. I hate shades. They are the worst because they come out of nowhere and destroy my archers with all their volleys. So, yeah, that's a little bit the deal behind this at that point. And I decided actually that this is the last video for Elfin Archers, because it became repetitive, and I was like, who cares about the short victory if it's all the same over and over again. So just another proof of concept that this is probably one of the bloodiest battles I had that were normal battles, simply because of the shades that came out of the forest, and they are so invisible. They flanked me on all sides, and this time, by the way, the AI did exactly what it had to do, flank me from all sides with their shades, and they did well. Let me say that it was very bloody. If you look at the numbers, I lost nearly like 6 units worth of archers. What is this? 900 out of 1.4. Was it a 5? 5 of 900, probably 500 either, huh? And that was probably, yeah, very well done of the AI for once. So heads off. And this is, by the way, the ending screen where I just talk about the ending. Yeah, this is the end of number 3 of High Elves Archers Only Tier 1. So the next time, again, probably very likely Monday again, I will start another challenge. Maybe archers again. Who knows? Maybe I'm gonna be the archer guy. But I don't know which one yet. I haven't started it yet, so I have to decide what I do. Which archers or which challenge I do, because I know there are some very good Total War challenge run people that do like challenge runs like goblins only. I forgot his name, which is a little bit shame, but who knows him knows what I mean. And I try to not do the same challenges, especially because they are very game knowledgeable, so which I don't have. I don't know what I can do. So yeah, I will see what I will do, and time's running out. I have to say goodbye, and until the next challenge where we see us somewhere else in the map and we don't fight Dark Elves. I'm making sure no Dark Elves, okay? So yeah, I wish all the best, and until next time, thank you.